Hi friends, this is Sneha from SM Creatives, and today we're going to make a large 18 inches by 24 inches wedding sign. Now you can use the steps that I've outlined in this video to create any other large scale sign for which pre-made bouquets and clip art pieces might be too small. So in this video we'll learn how to manually arrange all of these separate individual items and create your own unique background and design. So this is the design that we're going to make, but let's start from the top. I'm going to start from the very beginning. First, you're going to be opening Adobe Photoshop. I'm using Photoshop CC 2017. There's a free 7-day trial available, so you can make all your signs quickly. It's really easy. It's going to take you like 10 to 15 minutes per sign at best if you have all your materials in place. So let's get started. Once you open Adobe, go to File, New, and here we're going to feed in the size of our canvas. So this your Photoshop might have some other unit over here, so we want to make sure that we've selected inches. 18 by 24 inches. Now this doesn't include any trim. If you want, you can add 0.25 inches as a trim. Many printers require a trim, but most of them are also willing to add it themselves. So right now I'm just going to make an 18 by 24 size canvas. Make sure that your resolution is 300 pixels per inch. This is very important because 300 DPI actually is the print resolution. I'm going to design this in RGB mode so that what I see on my screen is accurate. But if you want to be printing, then some printers might require you to convert it into CMYK. That's another color mode, which you can always convert once you're done with the design. So this is it. Now we're going to click on create, and here we have our blank transparent canvas. First I want to fill this with a white background, so I'm going to hold down the command or control key and backspace. So on Mac that's a command and delete button, on Windows that's command and backspace, control and backspace, I'm sorry. When I say command, please Windows users just use control. Now we have a white background made. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to actually create a border from scratch using individual flip art pieces. For this design, I'm using my blush and gold abstract watercolor kit, which has a bunch of pre-made backgrounds like this, but it also has separate elements. Now I'm using separate elements here because the pre-made PNG borders, as you can see, are all 5 by 7 or maximum A4 size. There are also some 12 by 12 inch designs. Now since 18 by 24 is larger than this, it is optimal to recreate a design and to make it from scratch using individual elements than to use a pre-made background. You can use a pre-made 5 by 7 or an A4 as well, but and as long as you're okay with not 100% perfect pixel perfect printing, then it should print just fine. That's the feedback that I've gotten. But in this video we'll see how to recreate a design from scratch. Now I'm going to be using some of these pink and gold splashes to add into my design. So I'm just going to select a few of them and hit open with Photoshop. What I did was right click and open with Adobe Photoshop. What this does is that it opens the files at their full size. So let's see what happens. When I drag and drop, I just select it. Just clicking on it, it's already selected. Drag and drop it into your file. What this does is that it opens this graphic at its highest resolution. So you know that you can only reduce the size from here, but you're not supposed to increase the size because this is the maximum resolution. As opposed to if I drag and drop the same thing directly into this file from my file folder, let's see what happens. You get a slightly smaller version. You see, this version is slightly smaller than this, But the thing is this, now when I select it and I hit Command T, that gives me these controls which I can use to reduce or increase the size. When I'm increasing, I don't know where to stop. So there's a risk of overstretching it, which can lead to loss in quality. Now see, here we are at 66.6% and you can clearly see the difference between the two, right? So what we want to do is therefore open all of these individual clip art pieces on Photoshop first and then drag them into your main canvas. Now this applies only for super large designs like this 18 by 24 inches. If you're making a simple 5 by 7 card, please go ahead and drag and drop directly from your folder, because most of the individual clip art pieces are much larger than that. Like you saw this particular one, right? This was almost 20 inches wide. So it's very, very large and it will be perfectly fine for smaller designs. Now, select, what you do is basically you select, hit Control T or Command T to select it, and you can increase or decrease the size like this. You can also rotate it. When you just move your cursor to the side, you'll get this little mark, so you can rotate your design and you can move it around as well very easily. So this is what I've done. I'm going to add some more. I'm going to take this and hit it. Now you'll see it automatically came on a new layer. Again, Control T and rotate it. And just drop it here. It really depends on the effect and the look that you're going for. I'm going to take this guy again and drop it here. And probably open another one. Control T, rotate. While rotating, you can also hold down the Shift key. What that does is that it rotates by perfect 90-degree angles essentially. Now I want this little pattern to be repeated here. I want to copy this. So what I do is I just hold down the command and I click on it. That selects layer 4. Assuming now, say I'm at layer 4, I want to select layer 5, then I can just click it here. But if I don't know which layer it is and I want to select, say, this layer, then you just hold down the command key and click on that and it automatically selects the correct layer. So I'm going to select this and then I'm going to hit Control J. That basically copies the layer and then I simply drag it down. You get a similar look. Now I have two sides ready. Normally when I have two sides ready, what I do is I copy them so that there's some amount of symmetry in my design. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to select all of them. You can either manually select them by holding down the command key and selecting each one, or you can click on the first one, hold down the Shift key and click on the last layer. That will copy all of the layers in the middle. Hit Command J again, that copies. Now there's a copy on top. Now hit Command T, that's your transform tool, and you have all of these controls. I'm not going to move it manually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, flip horizontal, right click, flip vertical, and then I'm going to move this to the corner. I've basically created a somewhat of a mirror image. Just manually, visually make sure that the design is centered. The borders are looking alright. I'm pretty happy with this. Just hit enter for it to set. Now you're done. Now for the sake of sanity, we can select all of these layers, right click and link layers. So they won't move individually. If you select one and you move, they'll all move. I don't want that, so I'll hit Command Z and undo it. Next thing that we're going to do is add text. Now you see our border is done, we're going to add text. For adding text, first you're going to hit on this little button which is new layer, create a new layer. Click on it. Then go to your character panel. If you don't have a character panel open, you can just go to Windows and click on character and you'll get this panel. Choose the font that you want. I'm using Medina script. It's absolutely beautiful font and I'll link to it below. This is an auto selected size. Make sure that this little field is 0 so that there's no gap in between your text, and make sure that none of this is selected. Now just click on T, hit the T key, that's your text tool. Oh, sorry, clicking on this. Just click on text tool and click anywhere on your canvas and you'll get your cursor. Type now I think the size can be a little larger, so you increase the size. I think the space between the two words can be a little bit more, so we can adjust that from here. It's currently on auto, but we can manually adjust it. Okay, yeah, I think this is good enough to me. You can also just play around a little bit with the layout. This is our main marquee text. That's why I'm spending so much time on it. Okay, I'm quite happy with this. Next, we're going to add the other material. So we're going to click on T again and click outside. Now you'll notice there's a new layer that's automatically created. I'm going to use a font called Montserrat. It's really beautiful and modern looking. And yeah, it's also a free font. So I'm going to bring this back to auto. And I am going to give some amount of spacing. I'll show you what this does while typing. I'll take a gray color, just choose whichever gray suits your eye. Now, I think this is too large, so I'm going to make it smaller. I'm also going to make it semi-bold. And I want some space in between, so I'm going to add some space. Now you see there's that little modern spaced out look which you get by using this feature. Now I want to continue in this font, so what I do is basically I'm going to make another layer with this exact text. So essentially I'm going to hit Command J again and just drag it all the way down because I don't want to do all of this text selection again. So hit your text tool button, come here and change. So this is the text that we're going to use. Okay. Roughly place it in the center. And then I'm going to use this font, this style to write thank you. So we do the same thing again. Select it by hitting Control and clicking on the layer, clicking on the artwork maybe, and then Command J. And then hold down the Shift key and drag it down. Holding down the Shift key just makes sure that it moves in a straight line. I'm going to make the size a little smaller because I want the focus to be on unplugged revenue. Okay. Now at this stage, what I'm going to do is just drag and drop this number over here. Now I see that this is on top. I want this layer to be under rectangle layer. So I'll go here and I'll just drag this under rectangle layer. Now it's on top. I'm going to change the dimensions. What I did was hit Command T and change the dimensions, and I want it to be lighter. So I'll go to opacity here and change it to something lighter. So there's still a bit of that brush stroke effect over here, but it's not so much that it overpowers my text, right? Now I didn't really show you, I already had this color selected, I didn't show you how to get it, but say I want to get a slightly more pink or pink. So then I come here, I'll select my text, but you don't even have to select it, you just go to color, and then when you're on color, what you see is your mouse turns into this little eyedropper. So you can go here and click anywhere. So I've clicked here, and it will show you the exact shade that you've picked up, and you can play around from there to get the color that you want. Sorry, you do have to select it. My bad. And you can see how the color changes over here. So yeah, I like this shade. So yeah, this works. So what I'm going to do is here, I'm just going to copy this. This is the hex code. Just going to copy this. Come down here, select it, go to color, and just paste it. So I don't have to go through that process again. And there it is. That's done. You can do the same thing for your grays as well. You can select it and go here and just change around. I'm not going to change. But yeah. Now, like this looks pretty much aligned to me, but if you want to do some more alignment, what you can do is select all of the text layers. This to see which layer it is that you're selecting, and then just click on this. This sort of centers everything. Now you'll see that this is particularly uncentered. We'll manually fix that. Now what I'm going to do is hit the Command T button. I get the entire block selected and I move it to the center. Now it's a little hard to find the centers without rulers. So to get rulers, what I'm going to do is hit on Command H, and I see these rulers on my canvas. And this sort of helps you find the center. And then just hit Command H again to hide it. Then select just this layer and bring it to the center. And this is a little different from what we saw earlier, but well, you can just mess around with all of the other elements to make it as different as you want. So here we are done with the basic design. I'm going to show you a few other variations quickly. Say you don't want this sort of a look. You want a delicate paint stroke look. What you're going to be doing is you have history panel over here. If you can't see it, you can always go to window and open history panel. So I can just click on this and get back to this stage. So in retrospect, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hide these layers instead of deleting them. And you can just drag and drop these elements in to create more of a whimsical, abstract, whimsical look. right? You can just repeat this. To create a different look. That was really quick and easy, right? You just arrange existing elements in a different way. Now I'm going to show you another style now. See, I'm going to delete these. I want something to frame this. See, I want a floral frame. So you can go and get, I'm going to use this maybe. Okay. I'm just going to place it, say, here. And accordingly, you can move your text around like this so that it suits the final design. A completely new design made so quickly and easily just by adding a little florals here. You can also delete these and add any other. Say you're working with some eucalyptus branches. You can just add them from scratch. Again, I'm confused about how much to drag and drop, so I will just open them on Photoshop. Follow my own advice. Okay. And yeah, delete these first. So I don't want to stretch it too much, but I can do this. Just going to close some of these because it's making my computer really slow. If your computer is hanging while using Photoshop, then just close some of the tabs which aren't being used. Right? And you can just, you can create a repeating pattern on the border as well. A lot of options to be used. Just vertical into this corner. That's it. If you don't like these here, you can even delete them, and you have this lovely little greenery inspired welcome sign so quickly. Like you guys saw how quickly I made this. So anyway, now we're going to save our design. So I'm going to be saving this because it's just faster. But of course, if you've created this, this, okay. There are basically unlimited steps that I can trace back, but I cannot do that right now. So I'm just going to export this. You go to File and click on Save As. Click on this. Go to Desktop. And just save it as design. Save it as a JPEG or a PNG file. JPEGs work just fine for print. That's it. And always, always, always select the maximum quality possible. Sorry, that was my alarm. And click on OK. So it will tell you when it's done. When you go to your Finder, you go to, I'm going to go to all my files and just open up your design. There it is. This is your final finished design. Now, of course, you could have, I'm just going to save the other one as well and show you how that looks. Because that was my initial promise. So it feels weird to not do that. Done. Gonna do the same thing. Save as, design to, format, JPG, save, maximum, and we're done. This is the one. This is not the one. Done. So it's really easy, really simple, high quality, and you can literally do this in less than 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to link to everything that I've used in this video. So you can get started on your project right away. If you have any feedback, comments, requests, please let me know. You can do that by commenting below or by sending me an email or by using the contact form on my website. So I hope this was helpful to you, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.